Greetings and salutations, Life and Poetry fam. Welcome back to the channel with your boy, your host, and one and only, Marcus T. This guy, and we're back with another video. Life and Poetry family, friends, visitors, and guests alike. If you've been keeping up for these past couple of videos, you know that here at Life and Poetry, we are doing what I've called the Truth Unveiled series. And in this series, we have been diving into my complete diagnoses, the actual diagnoses, the big picture diagnoses, and breaking down, understanding what it is, with the educational side of understanding what it is, and as we go through, we're going to talk about how I feel about it, how I'm dealing with this, so on and so forth, right? So I believe this is part 3. First video, like I said, was the diagnosis coming clean about what it was, or unveiling rather what it was, which was me being diagnosed with HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. Second video was about how we can get an understanding of what it is and more of an educational side of it all, because with this virus, as I said in the previous video, lack of understanding is an issue. We need to educate ourselves on these things here because they're in our community, they're in our families, they affect our friends. You don't know. A lot of people don't want to tell you about it because they're fearful of how you're going to perceive it, so on and so forth, right? So those are those videos that we push through. Like I said, we're going to talk about how I'm feeling about it, how I'm dealing with it, so on and so forth. But before we jump into today's video, guys, Life of Poetry family, do me a huge favor and go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And once you've done that, go ahead and turn on that notification bell so that you could be notified every time we here at Life of Poetry drop a new video. Trust me, you don't want to miss these videos, this series especially. Stay tuned and please watch the entire video. Please don't stop short. I know some people get in the habit of stopping short in videos. Watch it all the way through, guys. Don't be afraid to comment. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. My Instagram is always linked in the description down below. If you want to shoot me a message, send me a message, whatever it is. Reach out to me, comment, whatever it takes. Get to me if you have questions, comments, concerns about what I'm talking about, or if you want me to go in more detail or so on and so forth about the diagnoses. If it's something that I haven't answered in these videos, feel free to ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask. I'm willing to answer. I'm at a space now of peace, and I'm releasing everything, right? Nothing, no more is holding me back. It's time to just release it all. I'm taking that power back. I'm taking that strength from it, which I've had strength before, but I'm gaining more strength as we go on, as we dive deeper into this here. This for me is therapeutic. This here is a breakthrough for me, to say, you know what, it's time to unveil it to the world. My family knows, my friends know. Now, to you guys, you never know. This testimony might reach somebody else, and you may not be dealing with what I'm dealing with specifically, but you could be going through something yourself where you say, oh my God, I need a word of encouragement, a word of strength. Pull something from these videos. Please do so. That's my whole purpose. This isn't a gimmick. This isn't me just saying, okay, look at me. No, this is me sharing my story with the world. This testimony isn't for me. God doesn't give us testimonies to hold in for ourselves, right? Testimonies are meant to be used to testify to those around you, to show that God does do what He said that He does do what He says He's going to do. I think does do might be a contradiction. I don't know, but you get where I'm going with that one, right? God is working ever so much in my life, just as I'm sure He's working in your life, right? But yeah, Life and Poetry family, let's talk about today how I felt. I want to talk to you guys about how I felt after I found out the diagnosis, not the misdiagnosis. That was a whirlwind there. I may do another series on the misdiagnosis there, but we're going to stick with the human immunodeficiency virus. We're going to stick with that HIV thing here. And I'm saying it like that because it's no more holding it back, right? It's not the diagnosis, it's the human immunodeficiency virus. If you don't know what HIV stands for, it's the acronym for the human immunodeficiency virus, right? That's what it is. If you don't, go back to video number 2. We can break it down right there, right? So, how I felt. Let's talk about that for a minute. Because it was a whirlwind of emotions. And I'm certain that we all go through these things when we've been told the truth of something. And we don't expect to feel a certain way. Or we try to contain every bit of emotion we got, but it just comes out. It just bursts out. And it's just like, that was me in that moment. When I was at that doctor, when that doctor said to me, and this is what the doctor said. The doctor said, "I'm sorry, but I have some bad news." Right? I already thought I was dying. My head already went there. I didn't know what it was in the moment before he came out and said what it was. When a doctor says they got bad news, it don't add up. Something always goes left, right? But in the moment that preceded it, my mind was already scrambling. I'm dying. I'm sick. This, that, and the third. Nothing good was coming after those words. I have bad news, right? But when he told me, I kind of froze. I kind of froze in his pocket, and he was like, the doctor was like, "You all right? You need some time to take this in." And I couldn't answer him. I was just stuck, and I was okay. I don't know if I was frozen in what he said or what I thought it was going to be, right? But in both ways, it was something bad for me in that moment before I had an understanding. Okay, let me now process this and let me now take this in. But that feeling was something of fear. I wasn't even fearful. I was terrified. In my mind, before he said what he said, was already, I'm dying. Imagine what my mind was after he said it, right? I'm dead, right? I went from dying to dead. I'm being completely honest and transparent. We aren't holding nothing back. If this is too much for you, please click off this video and go watch another video. But I want you to stick with me here, right? As I tell my truth. But I was so scared because I didn't know who, what, when, where, why, and how, right? That's how I break down things logically. I need to figure out these categories here. Okay, as I go down this checklist, it's not helping, not one bit. And the only answer I could not get was why. The why. I spent endless nights with my spiritual advisors, my spiritual leaders, with my friends, with my best friend. My best friend can contest to this. My cousin, she can contest to this question. To this day, I still ask her why, and she gives me the same answer every time with a smile on her face. But I always wanted to know that why, and it got to a space where I was like, God, you finna tell me something. I said it. You finna tell me something. And I was having these spouts with God about it. Because I'm like, God, I'm serving you unconditionally. I've done everything you've asked me to do. I'm not loose in the streets. I'm not ripping and running in this place here. I'm not doing this, that, and the third. But so why me? And then I go down the line and say, okay, how did it skip everything else? And it could have been. I'll be honest. I could have settled for bronchitis. I could have settled for asthma. I could have settled for this, that, and the third. Things that I know that can be, controlled and reversed. But in my mind here, this here wasn't a controlled thing. I had no more control. And I've lived a life of control for so long that I knew that, okay, if I'm doing this, my hands are on it, right? Group projects, right? I always took lead, and it was for a reason. I needed that control because I knew that, okay, look, if I got this plan here, we can stick to it. Boom, bang, bang. Nah, not with this here. I had zero control over what was going on at this moment here. So all I could do was cry, right? And I'm still in part of the story. I'm in the doctor's office, right? This part of the story, I'm still with the doctor. I ran through all of this in about 2.3 seconds. And so I leave his office, right? And I go home and I talk to my family, so on and so forth. But I'm still in this space of mourning, right? Not mourning as in AM, but mourning as in like I'm sad. I'm like, this is a repass type situation. And I'm not making a joke about it, but because this is how I felt. But I bring light to this situation because I made it through. Amen. I made it through. So I tend to smile through things. I make a joke about it because some stuff for me is so heavy that it's like, God, I got to find a joke somewhere in here. Right? I can't sit in this pocket of pity for too long because if I'm there, I ain't coming out. I've been there. I've been in that pocket, right? I've been in that pocket. If you guys saw my previous videos about me going to the hospital, I was in that pocket of self-pity and self-destruction. That's where I was, right? So then I learned that as I'm growing in this and understanding what it is, and as I'm educating myself on this here and going forward and understanding the modern medicine, the new things that's coming about, that okay, I'm not dying, I'm not dead, right? I'm still yet living, and I beat the odds of what they said I was supposed to do, where I'm supposed to be at. So that at this place, and I'm learning what I'm feeling. I'm learning that I'm feeling this here, but people are still looking at me sideways, right? This is what I'm learning. Or so I thought. I thought I was learning. I thought that people were looking at me sideways, but it never occurred to me that how could they be looking at me sideways if they don't know? If I haven't told them about it, right? I just assume that, okay, I've been in this space here, somebody got to know something. You know, folks talk, and it's like a game of telephone, right? You start off with the fact. By the time you get to the in person, it's a whole other story, and everything just misconstrued. And you got 13 kids, and they're like, all these things come about, right? We went from being sick to having 13 kids. I don't know how it happens. But the game of telephone is that tricky, and that's how life plays out sometimes. So I'm dealing with all these things here, and I'm pressuring myself to put walk with this smile on my face. And I'm smiling my way through. I'm doing all these things. I'm engaging things, but at the same time, I'm distancing myself. Right? I don't want people in that space. My friends can contest to this. My closest friends, my family can contest to this. I wasn't going to family events. I wasn't going to hang out with my friends. And this was before the walker. This is why I was still on my feet, mobile. I was distancing myself because I did not want to be in the midst of somebody asking what happened. Right? Now, fast forward to the hospital time. The distance became even greater. It was even greater. And I'm feeling all these emotions come about. So I'm telling people one by one. And people who I feel that I can trust, that can keep my secret. Right? For the longest time, this was my secret. This was a secret I was going to take with me to my grave. Right? Only people that was to know my secret was the people that I can trust wholeheartedly. So some people know, some people don't. Even to this day, some people still don't know. So I pray that those who don't know will watch these videos here and they can get an understanding of what I've been dealing with here and can come to me and ask those questions that they've been wondering all so long, that they've been guessing about. And I pray that I've answered those questions in these videos. But the feeling of not having that control and that feeling of just wanting to say, you know what, let's just keep living, don't worry about it, we'll keep pressing in. And I had that mindset while I was living and pressing in that God got it, right? I wasn't putting the work in, but God got it. And he took me back to the scripture, most recently, faith without works is dead. I had the faith, but I daggone sure I almost cussed. I daggone sure I wasn't putting that work in. But I had that faith, that my faith was there. It was shaky. It was on that cliff, but it was there. But I wasn't putting that work in. I wasn't, in the beginning stages, I wasn't taking my medicine properly. I had a hard time learning how to swallow pills. And a crush up a pill, the taste of it is just, an antibiotic pill is disgusting. We have to swallow just the powder stuff. You know, I went to the liquid. The liquid was even more disgusting. So I had to get to that space where I said, you know what, let me conquer this fear here and adjust to figure out how to take these pills here. Because the medicine, the liquid was no. Liquid was a no-go. The crush pill was a no-go. But I was going through all these stages of self-pity and self-grief and fear and turmoil and ups and downs and ups and backs and forths and lefts and rights. And it was just so much that was happening that I started to break down so bad. And it was like, oh my gosh, people are noticing that I'm breaking down. Let me smile even bigger, right? And if you know me, I do not smile. I take pictures, straight face. There is no smile in my pictures. I smile at a joke. I ha, ki at a joke, but I tend not to smile as much. But in that moment, and I'm learning now to smile more. If you see me now, I'm out, I'm laughing, I'm enjoying life, I'm smiling more because I have something to actually smile about. This isn't a false sense of reality, right? You don't see one side of my hand rather than the other one. Now you see both, right? I'm showing you both. You know, I'm showing you my entire hand, like a game of cards. I'm showing you the hand that I've been dealt, right? I'm unveiling it all. So as I'm going through these stages of emotion and feeling this and understanding that, it comes to a space where I said, you know what? No more. No more hiding, no more fearfulness, no more doubt, no more seclusion, no more this, no more that, no more them, no more me. Now it's just us. We're going to come together and we're going to talk about it. So as the time goes on, I'm beginning to get more comfortable with the fact that, okay, this is the diagnosis, that this is my hand, that my walker is here, that I have to put the work in to get off of the walker, which I've been doing with the cane. that eventually I know that I won't have to use the walker or the cane, that I'm going to be back on my feet full force, right? I got faith enough in that I'm going to be back on my feet full force. And I'm putting the work in with my PT, right? Faith, work, right? Faith, work, merging together. Come on now. Come on now, divine intervention. So that's where I'm at now. I don't feel the way that I did before. I've grown so much through this process. I'm learning to let people in. I'm learning to trust people. I'm learning to say, you know what? Let me tell you my story. Again, if people on the street ask me, I typically say I got sick. Because you don't let everybody in that circle. That you got to use your discernment all too often nowadays. Because some people want the worst for you. Some people want the best for you. I typically use my discernment to see, okay, who can I engage with this here? Who can I open up more to about this here? Who can I just give them the bare minimal? But most recently, I've been at a space now where I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. My nephew, for example, two of my nephews actually most recently, one on Mother's Day and one most recently, came to me and said, Uncle Marcus, what happened to your legs? And I made them a promise that I'll have a sit down with them and talk to them about it. One of my nephews is turning 8 this month here, and one of my other nephews just turned 12, I believe, this month. And he's graduated too. The nephew that just turned 12, I think he's 12. He's 12, yeah, he just graduated. I think he's 12. He double digits. He just graduated. He just got promoted and he's going to the 7th grade. And that day he asked me, he said, Uncle Marcus, what happened to your legs? So I'm going to have to sit down with him, and I'm free enough to do it. And their parents agreed that it's okay to do it. So I'm going to sit down with them and have the conversation with them about it. And it's at a space now where I don't want to hide nothing from nobody else no more. Life and poetry. You guys hear it here. I'm not hiding it no more. I'm living my truth. And I'm walking in my testimony. Keyword walking, right? Walking. That's my yo-yo. I'm walking in my testimony, right? Keyword, hold on to that, life and poetry. Let's walk in our testimonies together. Let's stand on solidifying the things that we've been through, because those things that we've been through got us to where we are today. I don't take nothing that I've been through in my past for granted. Everything that I've been through, everything that I've faced, every difficulty that I have to walk through got me to this space today. The space of joy and positivity and just peace and freedom of all the bondage that came with it all. I'm at that space of understanding that this here isn't just for me. This testimony, rather, isn't just for me. It's for the people. God gave me the gift of poetry to share with the people. God gave me this testimony to share with the people. I'm standing on everything that God has told me. I'm standing on understanding that this didn't defeat me. I'm standing on understanding that God didn't leave me nor forsake me, that He said He will keep me in my hard times. He's done just that. 29 years of living, I've faced such hard times. I'll be 29 next month, guys. Yes, July 1st. And I've made it. It's a milestone. It's not 30, but I've made it. Right? Most people celebrate those big ones, 25, 30. No, I'm 20. I celebrate every year like it's a new milestone for me. Like my 20th birthday was my 21st. My 24th was my 25th. My 29th is my 30. You know what I'm saying? It's those milestones for me that keeps me moving on. It keeps me encouraged. It keeps the fight in me alive. It keeps that fire burning down in my belly. And I'm there. And just as God said, that my ways are not His ways. My thoughts are not His thoughts. And for He knows the plan He has for me. God knows exactly where I'm going to be, where I was at, where I am today, and where I will be tomorrow. Stand on it, life and poetry. Trust me, stand on it. Stand on it, understand that God is faithful. Right? God is there for us, and that He'll help us get through those hard times. Right? Please take something from this life and poetry, friends, family, visitors. Again, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be a member of the Life and Poetry family, guys. Trust me, I love you all so much. I believe we are at 260 or 61 family members now, subscribers now. Let's keep growing. We set a goal for 300 by July. If we don't make it, we're going to keep pushing forward no matter what the number is by then. Even if it's just one of you left at the end of the day, I'm going to keep sharing my story. I'm going to keep sharing me with you. And we're going to keep pressing forward as we encourage, uplift, and motivate each other to be better, to be a better us today than we were yesterday. A better us tomorrow than we were today. Right? We're going to keep on pushing on Life Poetry family. Thank y'all so much for tuning into these videos, guys. I think we have 2 more videos to get through. Please keep up with them. Stay tuned. Share them with your family, friends, anybody. Just share them on out there. Get these out there to the world so the world can see that God is true. God is living. God is omnipresent. God is not dead. No matter what the world says, no matter what the world may say, God is forever present. And he's the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. That's who he is. That's what he is. And that's what he will be. Life and Poetry family, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget, also, if you want to follow me on my social media platforms, you can follow me on Instagram. My username is @officially.marcus.t, which is here on the screen below. Cheese. Also, you can follow me on TikTok, which is also @officially.marcus.t, also on the screen here below. Go follow them pages where every time we upload something, it's something of encouragement, positivity, or just something of joy, something that will make you smile, laugh, or think. Pull something from it, guys. Life Poetry again. I love y'all all so much. So stay safe, stay blessed, and until next time, we out. Peace.